I would first of all like to thank members for having elected me as the chair of the Assembly of the PCT Union. I would like as well to take this opportunity to welcome a new contracting party to the PCT since the last session of the Assembly in October 2016, and namely the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. A warm welcome to the PCT Assembly. We now open agenda item 21, PCT system. And there are 4 documents under our consideration as stated in the agenda. For one of these documents, a correction document has since been published, and this is a document PCT/A/49/2 corrigenda, and we will address these 4 documents separately, beginning with document PCT/A/49/1, entitled Report on the PCT Working Group. Then we're gonna proceed to document PCT/A/49/4, entitled Proposed Amendments to the PCT Regulations. And before concluding our session with the 2 documents relating to the appointment of international authorities. That is document PCT/A/49/3, concerning the appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international authority, and finally document PCT/A/49/2 regarding the reappointment of all existing international authorities, noting the modifications that have been made in document PCT/A/49/2 corrigenda. And we now move to the first issue under this item and to the document PCT/A/49/1, entitled Report on the PCT Working Group. And I would like to invite Mr. John Sandage, Deputy Director General, Patents and Technology Sector, to briefly introduce the document, please.
Sets out a report on the 10th session of the PCT Working Group held in Geneva in May this year. The working group again had a full agenda with 25 agenda items and 23 working documents, demonstrating the continued interest in the development of the PCT system as the central pillar of the international patent system to bring about further improvements for the benefit of offices and users. Concerning changes to the PCT regulations approved by the working group, a separate working document, document 4, has been submitted to this assembly for decision, which we will get to in just a few minutes. I do not intend to go into detail with regard to any of the items discussed during the 10th session of the working group. The summary by the chair of the meeting attached to document 1 gives a good overview of the items discussed and agreements reached by the working group. The Secretary would, of course, be happy to answer any questions delegations might have on any of the matters considered by the working group. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sandage. And I would like to offer the floor to the delegations. And the floor goes to Costa Rica.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to congratulate you on your nomination. Regarding the PCT working group, we would like to repeat our support on behalf of GRULAC to the rapid implementation and approval of the PCT proposal 1018, which was submitted by Brazil, which proposes special fees for universities in developing countries. Thank you.
Thank you. And now floor goes to Chile.
Thank you, Chairman. We would like to thank you as Chair of the PCT for your work and the Secretariat for drawing up the documents. We would like to back up the statement just made by Costa Rica on behalf of GRULAC. Chairman, Since Chile was appointed as an IPA, our Industrial Property Institute has made important improvements to be at the vanguard of patents. It has been playing a very important role in our region. As a country, we would like to continue to contribute our grain of sand to the improvement of more and better patent systems, providing a quality service not only for Latin American countries, but also for the countries of the Caribbean, if they require it. This is why we trust that INAPI work has been renewed during this assembly. In the same way, we associate ourselves with what Grulac said, i.e. that we support the Brazilian proposal contained in document PCTA W1018, which proposes PCT international fees for the developing countries' universities. I hope we can continue talking about facilitating the participation of universities in the international patent system and providing incentives for innovation. Thank you, Chairman.
I would like to thank the delegation of Chile, and now the floor goes to China.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Chinese delegation would first of all congratulate you on your election.
On behalf of the BRICS countries, and we would like to reiterate our position, which has already been expressed this May in the PCT Working Group meeting. The BRICS countries believe that the proposal from Brazil on adjusting the fee reduction policy has pointed out a right direction on the PCT system development, and would like to echo our support to the proposal. It will not only give better encouragement to university innovation and creation, but also further promote technology dissemination and expand the accessibility and influence of the PCT system through extending the scope of fee reduction to universities, especially the universities from developing countries. As indicated in the proposal, this action will also give potential university applicants the opportunity to file more PCT applications, which may to a great part balance the revenue loss from WIPO in this field. The proposed fee reduction for universities will be a real assistance by WIPO for developing countries in enhancing inventive activities and a valuable supplement to training and education programs carried by this organization. Thank you.
I would like to thank the delegation of China, and now floor goes to Canada. And now floor goes to Brazil.
Thank you, Chair. And from the outset, I'd like to congratulate you on your election. Brazil would like to support the statements made by China on behalf of the BRICS countries, as well as by Costa Rica on behalf of Grulac. Mr. Chairman, a basic element of the international intellectual property system is to stimulate technological innovation and creativity by fostering cooperation between member states. This is reflected in the major international treaties in the matter, such as the TRIPS Agreement as well as the PCT. The preamble of the PCT states that cooperation among nations will greatly facilitate the attainment of the goals of the treaty, which includes, quote, to make a contribution to the progress of science and technology, unquote, and also, quote, to facilitate and accelerate access by the public to the technical information contained in documents describing new inventions, unquote. However, Mr. Chairman, challenges remain in increasing the use of WIPO's global registration systems by developing countries. There's a clear and concrete necessity of action by WIPO and its member states to address this issue, in particular in the PCT. A very effective way for doing so is through the use of the fees. As stated by the PCT International Bureau in the past sessions, fees, in essence, serve two distinct functions. The first one is to recover costs, and the second one is to serve as a regulatory tool to influence filing behavior. In that sense, We would like to recall the proposal from Brazil regarding the PCT fee reduction for universities from developing countries. It aims at making full use of PCT fees as a regulatory tool, positively influencing the filing behavior of universities, but without substantially affecting the cost recovery function of PCT fees. This targeted fee reduction would generate concrete effects in the form of a 7% increase of PCT applications from universities from developing countries, advancing innovation and stimulating creativity, core goals of WIPO. It would also be in line with several strategic goals of WIPO, such as SG 2, 3, 5, and 7, as well as the stated goal of WIPO of ensuring a more widespread use of service provided by WIPO's global registration systems. In the last session of the working group, the proposal received the support of 108 countries, representing more than 2/3 of all PCT member states. There is an urgent need of providing a response to the legitimate demand of those countries, which come from different regions and have different levels of development. Furthermore, as proposed in our document PCT/WG/1018, Brazil understands that a fee reduction for universities from developed countries could also be discussed, taking into account the estimations made by the WIPO economist chief regarding its financial impact. Mr. Chairman, the implementation of such a fee policy will enable the use of a large pool of scientific and technological talent in those universities. There's a genuine need to tap this knowledge source and to create additional incentives for the production of innovative products and service. The proposed fee reduction will encourage the use of the PCT system and increase the diversity in the geographical composition of applications, generating additional demand in the medium term for PCT service. We call all member states to support and approve the discussion of this proposal that, when implemented, will create a smart fee reduction for the benefit of the international community, promoting the use of the patent system and taking our first concrete step on discussions related to PCT fee elasticity. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of Brazil, and now floor goes to Russian Federation.
Thank you very much, Chairman. And we congratulate you on your election into this post. We support the statement made by China on behalf of the BRICS countries, and also the statement by Brazil and the others who have spoken on the subject of reduced fees for universities. We consider that that measure will be an additional stimulus for the development of the PCT system. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of Russian Federation, and now the floor goes to United States of America.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We also congratulate you on your election, and we also thank the Deputy Director General for his leadership and to the Secretariat for their hard work and preparation of the documents. The United States is in favor of adopting the proposed amendments to the regulations under the PCT set out in Annexes 1 to 2 to document PCT-A 49.4 and the proposed decisions set out in paragraph 6 of document PCT-A 49.4 relating to entry into force and transitional arrangements. We also support adoption of the understanding set out in paragraph 3 of document PCT-A 49.4 as a step toward clarifying the applicability of the 90% fee reduction intended for national person applicants from certain countries, with the goal of reducing the incidence of improperly claimed fee reductions. As to Brazil's proposal for a fee reduction for universities, we look forward to continuing to discuss this matter and related issues in the PCT working group. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I would like to thank the delegation of United States of America, and now I would like to give the floor to Greece.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Allow me to congratulate you on your election. We would like to take the opportunity to convey our satisfaction with the performance of the patent cooperation treaty system. increased PCT filings contributed to the positive financial result of the World Intellectual Property Organization in 2016. The system is robust thanks to the tireless efforts and commitment of WIPO staff. For a system to remain robust, continuous improvement should take place to correspond to new challenges and to the changing needs of users. At the same time, it should be conducive to innovation and provide incentives to ensure accessibility to any interested user, especially those with limited financial resources. In the past 2 years, fee reductions to the international filing fee for eligible natural persons have enabled Greek applicants to file international applications and pursue the protection of innovative products worldwide. University-driven innovation should also be stimulated through lowering the entry costs. Any fee reductions should be explored on the understanding that the impact to the PCT revenue is minimal. We welcome the discussion initiated in the PCT working group and look forward to a positive outcome. We reiterate our commitment to the continuous development of the PCT system. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of Greece, and now the floor goes to Egypt.
Thank you, Chair. We also would like to congratulate you on your election at the helm of the PCT Assembly. We would like to state that the delegation of Egypt supports the proposal of Brazil with regard to the reduction of fees for universities, and because this would incentivize the increase of applications, especially in developing countries. Thank you.
I would like to thank the delegation of Egypt, and now the floor goes to India.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your election for the WIPO Assembly. Delegation of India would like to align itself with the statement made by the China on behalf of BRICS countries on PCT fee reduction. Thank you.
I thank the delegation of India, and it seems that at this stage now there are no further delegations wishing to take the floor. Of course, this is an important matter as well on the reduction, and I think the work continues in this field as well in the next year, and PCT Working Party discussing and holding special workshop on this matter. Considering all the statements made, I would like to propose the following decision paragraph contained in the document, that the Assembly of the PCT Union took note of the report of the PCT Working Group document PCT/A/49/1 and approved the convening of a session of the PCT Working Group as set out in paragraph 4 of that document. Would it be acceptable to delegations? I see that South Africa is seeking for the floor. Please.
Thank you, Chairperson. Our flag went up perhaps a little late, but we want to also associate ourselves with the statement made by China on behalf of the BRICS countries and also the full explication given by Brazil. Thank you.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of South Africa. Your position is fully noted. So I see that the delegations are in content with the proposed decision paragraph. I see no objection, and then it is so decided. Thank you. And now we will proceed to the next issue under consideration. And the second issue under this item, and to document PCT/A/49/4 entitled Proposed Amendments to the PCT Regulations. And I would like to once more invite Mr. John Sandage, Deputy Director General, Patents and Technology Sector, to briefly introduce the document, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Document PCT-A/48/4 sets out proposed amendments of the PCT regulations. These amendments were discussed by the PCT Working Group in May this year, which unanimously agreed to recommend that this Assembly should adopt the amendments as proposed. The proposed amendments, which are set out in Annex 1 to the document, relate to the following. First, correction of references in Rules 4.1b(2) and 41.2b to properly reflect changes in numbering consequential to the amendments to Rules 12 bis and 23 bis adopted by the Assembly at its 47th session and 48th session held in October 2015 and 2016, respectively. And second, amendment to the Schedule of Fees to make clear that the 90% fee reductions in Item 5 are intended only for persons filing an international application in their own right and not for those filing an international application on behalf of a person or entity which is not eligible for a reduction, such as a director or an employee of a company filing an international application on behalf of a company in order to obtain the reduction in Item 5A. In addition to the proposed amendment to the Schedule of Fees, the Working Group recommended that the Assembly should adopt an understanding that the fee reductions in Item 5 are intended to apply only in cases where the applicants are the sole and true owners of the application and are under no obligation to assign, grant, convey, or license the rights in the invention to another party that is not eligible for the fee reduction. This understanding is set out in paragraph 3 of the document. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sandage. And I would now like to open the floor to delegates. It seems that no delegation is willing to take the floor at this stage, and therefore I would like to propose the following decision paragraph contained in the document concerned. That the Assembly of the PCT Union adopted the proposed amendments to the regulations under the PCT set out in Annex 1 to document PCT/A/49/4 and the proposed decision set out in paragraph 6 of document PCT/A/49/4 relating to entry into force and transitional agreements, and adopted the understanding set out in paragraph 3 of document PCT/A/49/4 with effect from October 11, 2017. I see no objection, and it is so decided. Thank you. And now we will proceed to the next issue under our consideration. And the third issue is under this item, and to document PCT/A/49/3, entitled Appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international searching and preliminary authority under the PCT. And I am pleased to report that the PCT Committee on Technical Cooperation met in May this year and agreed to give a favorable advice and recommend to the Assembly of the PCT Union that the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines to be appointed as an international searching and preliminary examining authority under the PCT. And now I would like to give the floor to Ambassador Evan Garcia, Permanent Representative of the Philippines to the United Nations and other international organizations, to introduce its request to the PCT Assembly to appoint the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international searching and preliminary authority as set out in document PCT/A/49/4 2/3. Please.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Since this is our first time to take the floor for this assembly, kindly accept our congratulations on your election. As chairman of the PCT Union Assembly, we join other delegations in expressing our confidence in your guidance and leadership for a productive and successful meeting. Mr. President, we are extremely honored to present our request to the PCT Union Assembly to be designated as an international searching authority and international preliminary examining authority under the PCT, as was unanimously endorsed by the PCT's Committee on Technical Cooperation, CTC, 30th session contained in document PCT/A/49/3. Mr. President, the Philippines is strategically located at the gateway of Asia. It has a highly literate population of 104 million, whose capabilities and competence are recognized over the entire spectrum of professions. It is home to about 2,180 colleges and universities and top multinational corporations conducting robust research and development activities. The designation of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, IPOPHIL, as an international authority complements government policy of mainstreaming science, technology, and innovation platforms across national and local development agendas and will help further foster research and development. It perfectly fits into the Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022 towards a high-trust society and a globally competitive knowledge economy. Currently, there are 152 PCT contracting parties, and the membership will continue to increase in the years to come, presenting considerable demand in international work. Asia accounts for 43.5% of the total PCT applications in 2015, and the Southeast Asian region has registered continuous growth in recent years, which likewise translates to higher demand for international PCT work. With about 70 years of search and examination experience, the Philippines is well placed to assist the system in responding to this increasing demand. As the technical information of our application was reviewed and considered by the CTC last May, we will just briefly outline IPOPHIL's constitutional capacity to be designated as an ISA-IPEA pursuant to the PCT rules. We have achieved this with utmost diligence for the past 4 years. First, IPOPHIL has the sufficient technical and manpower competence to carry out search and examination in required technical fields pursuant to Rule 34 of the PCT regulations. Second, IPOPHIL patent examiners use comprehensive commercial and publicly accessible databases covering patent and non-patent science and engineering databases for search and examination, which collectively cover the PCT minimum documentation and more. Thirdly, a comprehensive and multi-tiered quality management system, namely in-process quality check ISO QMS 9001-2008, and Internet Patent Quality Review System PQRS, exceeding the common rules of international search and preliminary examination defined by Chapter 21 of the PCT International Search and Preliminary Examination Guidelines. And fourthly, recommendation by established international authorities, particularly the Japan Patent Office, JPO, and IP Australia for IPOPHIL's designation to the PCT-CTC 30th session. On this note, Mr. President, the Philippines would like to express our utmost gratitude to IP Australia and JPO for their invaluable support and guidance in our preparations for designation. We are exceedingly pleased that they have expressed their willingness and interest to continue assisting IPOPHIL in the years ahead. In addition, we highly appreciate other bilateral partners such as the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, and Intellectual Property Office of Singapore, IPOS, for their support. It is this spirit of cooperation and partnership within the PCT Union that encourages the Philippines to take a larger role in the PCT system. We also take this opportunity to thank Deputy Director General John Sandage, PCT Legal International Affairs Department and Asia Pacific Bureau, for their assistance in this process. In sum, Mr. President, if designated as an international authority, IPOPHIL will positively contribute to the PCT system as we can by 1. Greatly helping in addressing the demand for PCT work, particularly the increasing volume of applications by providing quality and timely services. Secondly, serve as a strategic partner of other ISAs and IPEAs in the region, specifically of Singapore and Southeast Asia. Third, act as a strategic link of the PCT system in the growing Asian market by promoting the system in Asia, particularly to individual applicants, startup companies, and the new breed of innovators in the region, as well as provide a platform for our expanding network of 85 technology and innovation support centers to use the PCT system. And fourth, finally, lay down the necessary institutional infrastructure in the region to pave the way for an increased usage of the IP system by developing and emerging economies. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the Ambassador Garcia for the introduction and offer the floor to delegations. And I would like to give the floor to Australia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd also like to congratulate you on your election as Chair and to thank the Secretariat for the documents and assistance provided to Member States throughout the year. IP Australia has a long-standing and constructive relationship with the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, IPOPHIL, and this has been reinforced over recent years by our collaboration on the Regional Patent Examiner Training Program. IPOPHIL has been a contracting state of the PCT since 2001 and has considerable experience of the PCT. We note that IPOPHIL's application for appointment as an international searching and preliminary examination authority underpins policies aimed at the development of innovation and prosperity in the Philippines. This in turn can encourage increased use of the international patent system in the ASEAN region and potentially add value to the network of existing authorities. We note that IPOPHIL has further strengthened its operations recently by adding searching tools such as the Scientific and Technical Information Network and trialling EPO query services, and we are confident that the search and examination carried out by IPOPHIL as an international search and preliminary examination authority will be consistent with the ideals of the PCT. As part of our long-standing and cooperative relationship, Australia looks forward to providing further ongoing assistance to IPOPHIL to help with the transition required to become an operational ISA IPEA. We are pleased to have been involved in the journey with IPOPHIL leading up to this development, and we wish them all the best in this endeavour going forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of Australia, and now the floor goes to Japan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm speaking in my national capacity. As one of the offices that assess the eligibility of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, IPOPHIL, to be appointed as an ISA, IPEA, we fully support its appointment. The close cooperation in the field of intellectual property between the Japan Patent Office, JPO, and the IPOPHIL goes back a long time and involves a wide range of activities, such as human resource development and office automation. The JPO has used not only the WIPO Japan Funds in Trust, but also made separate bilateral arrangements. The JPO's assessment of the IPOPHIL's possible appointment was conducted based on the IPOPHIL's request and a bilateral memorandum of cooperation signed between our offices as part of the cooperation in the field of the PCT. We conducted our very thorough assessment in a very objective manner on various aspects, including whether the IPOPHIL meets the minimum requirements in line with the PCT rules 36.1 and 63.1. The result of the assessment were compiled as working document PCT/CTC/30/2 REV Appendix 3. Our report concludes that the IPOPHIL meets the minimum requirements under the relevant PCT rules on the assumption that It will have examiners with sufficient capability to conduct searches and will have access to some non-patent document database by the time the General Assemblies are held in October 2017. The IPFIL advised us that these requirements have already been met. We would like to congratulate the IPFIL on its effort to strengthen its capabilities as an ISA IPEA. It is our sincere wish that with the appointment of the IPFIL as ISA IPEA, the PCT system will develop even further. Our office will continue to be committed in assisting the IPFIL in operating as a competent ISA IPEA. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank the delegation of Japan, and now floor goes to Republic of Korea.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as the International Searching and Preliminary Examining Authority under the Patent Cooperation Treaty, the PCT Committee for Technical Cooperation in May has reviewed and determined the conditions for appointment sufficiently met. Hence, my delegation would like to echo other delegations in supporting the approval of the appointment of the IP Office of the Philippines as an international authority. Thank you.
I thank the delegation of Republic of Korea, and now floor goes to Oman.
شكرا سعادة الرئيس. نود أن نعرب عن دعمنا لتعيين مكتب الفلبين للملكية الفكرية كإدارة للبحث الدولي والفحص التمهيدي.
Thank you, Chair. We support the appointment of the Philippines as an international searching and preliminary examining authority under the PCT. We think this would be an important step forward to meet the growing number of applications in Asia, the growing number of PCT applications. We've actually seen a 43% increase in recent times. Thank you.
I would like to thank the distinguished delegation of Oman, and now the floor goes to Singapore.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, we would like to congratulate you on your election. The delegation of Singapore would like to reiterate our support for the application of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines to becoming an international searching authority and international preliminary examining authority under the PCT. Through our close bilateral and regional cooperation with IPOFIL, we are confident that it is capable of discharging its duties as an ISA and IPEA. We believe having another ASEAN member as international authority will be synergistic with our efforts to improve quality and efficiency in patent search and examination within the region. We therefore support IPOFIL's bid and look forward to their continued contributions to the PCT. Thank you, Chair.
I thank the delegation of Singapore, and now floor goes to Ukraine.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Tout d'abord.
Thank you, Chair. The delegation of Ukraine would like to begin by congratulating you on your election to the chair of the PCT Assembly. We also wish to express support for the appointment of the Philippines as an international searching and preliminary examining authority under the PCT. We wish the Philippines every success in this work, and we also wish to indicate that we hope that we will enjoy further close cooperation with you. Thank you.
I thank the delegation of Ukraine, and now floor goes to United States of America.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The United States joins Australia, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and others in supporting the appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international searching authority and preliminary examining authority under the PCT. We look forward to IPOFIL beginning operations as an international authority soon. Thank you.
I thank the delegation of United States of America, and now floor goes to Brazil.
Thank you, Chair. We have carefully examined the documents under discussion here, and we also like to join others in supporting the nomination of Philippines as an international search authority, international preliminary authority under the PCT. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished delegation of Brazil, and now floor goes to Austria.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the outset, we would like to congratulate you on your election. Mr. Chairman, Austria, representing an international searching and international preliminary examining authority under the PCT, would like to join others in supporting the request of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines to be appointed as an international searching and international preliminary examining authority. We are looking forward to cooperating with the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as a member of the family of PCT authorities and wish them all the best for the future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the distinguished delegation of Austria, and now floor goes to Egypt.
شكرا سيادة الرئيس وأن
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the delegation of Egypt wishes also to express support for the appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international searching and preliminary examining authority. And we wish them every success.
I thank the distinguished delegation of Egypt, and now floor goes to Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair. Indonesia would like to join other members of WIPO to support the appointment of the Philippines as the International Searching Authority and International Preliminary Examination Authority. Thank you, sir.
I thank the distinguished delegation of Indonesia, and that concludes the list of speakers for these points, and I thank all the delegation for the statements made. And that allows us to me to propose the following decision paragraph contained in the document concerned, that the Assembly of the PCT Union heard the representative of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines and took into account the advice of the PCT Committee for Technical Cooperation set out in paragraph 4 of the document PCT/A/49/3. Approved the text of the draft agreement between the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines and the International Bureau set out in the annex to document PCT/A/49/3 and appointed the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international searching authority and international preliminary examining authority, with effect from the entry into force of the agreement until December 31, 2027. I see no objection, and it is so decided. Thank you. I see the delegation of Philippines is wishing to take the floor. Please.
Mr. Chair, we are extremely honored and humbled by the Patent Cooperation Treaty Union Assembly's decision to designate the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, IPOPHIL, as an international searching and preliminary examining authority. The journey to becoming an international authority has been truly challenging and fulfilling. The IPOPHIL for the past 4 years diligently worked on necessary institutional and organizational preparations to ensure that we meet and in certain aspects exceed the minimum requirements for designation. This designation is a significant milestone not only for the intellectual property of the Philippines, but to our country as well. Our National Development Plan aims to transform the Philippines into a knowledge-driven and innovative society and this designation will complement research and innovation activities in the country and in the Southeast Asian region. At this point, Mr. Chair, we would like to share this modest achievement with partners for their invaluable assistance and collaboration. We express our extreme gratitude and profound appreciation to IP Australia and Japan Patent Office for their guidance and support. Their generosity in sharing their wealth of experience, efficient office practices and policies greatly benefited us during this whole process. We are greatly inspired by their positive and constructive engagement to further enhance our capacity and competence. It is reassuring to know that they have committed to continue working with us in benchmarking of international operations and capacity building of ISA/IPEA capacities and competencies. Mr. Chair, we would also like to thank the United States Patent and Trademark Office for their support, assistance, and helpful insights while we embarked on this process. In addition, we convey our gratitude to the Intellectual Property Office of Singapore for their statement of support and their encouragement. As a first international authority in the ASEAN region, Singapore's support of us is of utmost importance. We also thank the delegations from Korea, Oman, Ukraine, Brazil, Australia, Egypt, and Austria, Egypt, and Indonesia for their statement of support. In addition, Mr. Chair, we convey our appreciation to the WIPO, particularly the PCT Legal and International Affairs Department and Asia Pacific Bureau for their valuable assistance and support. Likewise, we thank Mr. Maximiliano Santa Cruz of Chile for his outstanding leadership of the PCT Working Group and the Committee on Technical Cooperation and the CTC 30th session for the endorsement. In closing, Mr. Chair, we look forward to working with other international authorities and all the contracting parties in ensuring an efficient patent system. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.
I thank and sincerely congratulate the delegation of Philippines. And before leaving this matter, I would like to give the floor to the Director General of WIPO, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon to all delegations. I would like to add on behalf of the International Bureau our deep congratulations to the delegation of the Philippines on the appointment of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines as an international authority, international searching and preliminary examining authority. In particular, our congratulations to Ambassador Evan Garcia and to the Director General of IPOFIL, Madam Josephine Santiago. And we look forward very much to working with you in this new capacity as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Director General. And we will now proceed to the next issue under consideration. And it is a final issue under this item, and it is a document PCT/A/49/2 entitled Extension of Appointment of the International Searching and Preliminary Examining Authorities under the PCT, as modified by the document PCT/A/49/2 Corrigenda. The PCT Committee for Technical Cooperation met in May this year and discussed the individual applications from all the existing international searching and preliminary examining authorities for the extension of their appointments until the end of 2027. I am pleased to report that the committee agreed to recommend to the Assembly of the PCT Union the extension of the appointment of all the authorities. The extension of appointment of two international authorities, namely the Australian Patent Office and the Canadian Commissioner of Patents, require additional explanations. Both these offices have informed the International Bureau that they will be unable to complete the national processes for approval of the new agreements before December 31, 2017. And consequently, it is proposed, in addition to extension of the appointment of these two authorities until December 31, 2017, to also approve the extension of the existing agreement of both authorities for a period of up to 1 year, pending the ratification of the new agreements. All international authorities have presented a detailed applications for their extension of appointment, and these have been considered by the Committee for Technical Cooperation when giving its favorable advice to this Assembly. I therefore suggest that it is not necessary for the existing international authorities to make statements to introduce their applications, and that we instead would consider the statements made by the international authorities during the most recent session of the Committee for Technical Cooperation as having already been heard by the Assembly. However, if there is any information that any international authority would like this Assembly to consider in support of their application that was not made available during the Committee for Technical Cooperation during its deliberations in May, I would like to invite those international authorities to take the floor at this point in order to make a brief intervention. It seems that no delegation is willing to intervene at this stage, and therefore I would like to offer the floor to all other delegations for comments to the document PCT/A/49/2. It seems that no delegation is willing to take the floor at this stage, and that allows us to proceed with the decision paragraph contained in the document concerned. That the Assembly of the PCT Union, in accordance with Articles 16.3 and 32.3 of the PCT, heard the representatives of the international authorities and took into account the advice of the PCT Committee for Technical Cooperation set out in paragraph 4 of the document PCT/A/49/2. Approved the text of the draft agreements between the international authorities and the International Bureau, set out in Annexes 1 to 22 of document PCT/A/49/2, as modified by document PCT/A/49/2 Corrigenda, and extended the appointment of the present international searching and preliminary examining authorities until December 31, 2027. I see no objection, and it is so decided. Thank you. And with this last issue, we have concluded the work of PCT Assembly, and now I would like to hand over the floor to the Secretary of the Assemblies for the transition to the next agenda item. And I thank all of you for your cooperation. Thank you.